Alright, I'm back. Give it a second before I start speaking, because people won't be able to hear in the first few seconds. Can you guys tell everyone in chat to press F5 and refresh, if that's okay? I haven't had OBS crash, like, in years, so this is definitely to do with the new overlays. Well, maybe not definitely. I'll take that back. Maybe not definitely. It might also just be that the game itself memory errored out. It wasn't Ark. I don't even have Ark installed right now. It was not Ark. Ark did not crash us. Something else, I guess. I honestly thought I'd blue screen. Or earlier in the year, I had a problem with my power supply unit. I had to completely redo all the power in the PC because the fan on the unit wasn't working. So the PSU was overheating. So everything was overheating. Oh, what? Why is this big again now? What's going on with this? And of course I'm going to be getting killed in game because you can't go AFK for half a second. Maybe I can get away? Stone resonance? Yeah, okay, we're back, right? Everything should be running. What's F5 on a phone? I actually don't know. Oh, I don't have any stun breaks. That's annoying. I mean, we can splash barrier up. Oh, and then I went into the heart of the brand. God damn it. Okay, alright, that's fair. It's fine. No. We'll just go back to the waypoint. And we'll go counterclockwise through the map. I'm going to have to put the volume back up. Okay. Alright, that should be good, guys. I think you should be able to hear the game. You should be able to hear me. We're live and everything, right? Let me get chat visible again. Yeah, it crashed everything, though, so... don't know what that was all about. Alright, did I miss anything in chat in that moment? What were we talking about as well? I forget. Game crashed or OBS? OBS crashed. It gave me an error that said the fault... I can't remember what the error was. Hopefully it doesn't happen again, but we'll see. It might be... I don't think I would have ran out of RAM. I got 32 gigs. Hey, Bacon's all mine. Thanks very much for the sub there, dude. Why didn't that ding? That's interesting. The overlays? Oh, we were talking about Shaman's Twitter. Yeah, what was it he posted? I might already know about what he's posted, but I haven't actually seen the tweet itself, so you guys will have to tell me. Oh, it did ding. Why didn't I hear it? That's weird. Usually I hear it on my end. Okay, you guys can't see the game for some obnoxious reason. I don't know why it keeps moving off of the game. I think what it is the automatic scene switcher that rolls through my efficiency stats is switching the other scenes. Okay, let me go back to this waypoint now. The problem is because I'm double recording. Every time I do something that interferes with the main screen, it messes stuff up. Okay, yeah, it was about stories and stuff that got cut. All right, that's fine. Yeah, pretty interesting, right? I don't know what he's told people, so I don't want to like spoil it because he DM'd me some stuff as well, and I don't want to take the flame away from him. But yeah, it does seem pretty interesting, right? That the story was going to be quite different as far as he'd mined in those early days. I wonder whether, and as he says that stuff, I wonder whether it will be picked up for season 5 now. You never know, right? Yeah, Cho, it's good to see you in chat. I must have the auto scene switcher on, right? And so it's affecting the game as well. So I have to pause the scene switcher every time. That's what I'm doing. I think there's a bit of a problem though. The hotkey I set up to turn on and off the scene switcher is also being used by one of my mounts in Guild Wars. And so that might be a real problem. In the back of my mind, I've been stressing about it as the stream's going along here. Because, hey, who knows what might happen. I might mount in a minute and then suddenly the overlay changes and no one can see anymore and I don't realize that they can't see anymore. And yeah. So we got to go up on this. You'll notice, by the way, so far in the patch, I've had 0 combat. It's an interesting thing mounts have done with the game, that all this open world content isn't really combat content anymore if you're playing in a direct fashion. Because you're obviously just going to mount and run past stuff. I have patient viewers. I do have patient.
Second seismic tap in place.
Good. Keep going. This is...
I think people in general are patient.
Can you double check these numbers? Sure thing.
Here's what he said.
Commander?
Shaman's tweet makes sense. Devs have already stated on forums that quite a few plot details changed late in development for both Path of Fire and Season 4. Like Menzies was going to be mentioned, or otherwise have a bigger role in Path of Fire. How Botka was a villain in Season 4. Joko's arc would be bigger.
Figure it out.
You know, I think
I
think a real shame.
Commander, we
Well, I don't
need
know.
that
What do you think
Can you
happened,
find a
guys?
different
Why?
way up?
So here's the
As soon
thing.
as I place this last tap.
They had decided Balthazar would be destroyed in Path of Fire, and Season 4 alone would deal with Joko and would deal with Krauk. That they were going to do both antagonists in the season. And they did 3 episodes for Joko and 3 episodes for Krauk. That's what happened. That's what we've had, okay? That's the season. Now, in light of the fact that we're going Season 4 into Season 5, why do you think they did that? I leave it to you, chat, now. Because it feels to me, if you knew from the start you were going to do Season 4 into Season 5, that it probably would have made sense to spread those 2 antagonists out. As in, we're just dealing with Joko now, and we finish Krauk and Torek off next season. Now, some of you guys might cringe at that and think, oh my god, no, it's not. It wouldn't have been moving fast enough. But I think you only feel that way because they accelerated the pace so much. There's a lot of really nice things we could have had with Joko's story, and that could have weaved in and out of it, that could have had it be thoroughly entertaining anyway. And I'll draw your attention to some of the messages I've had on this stream very recently of people saying they want a break from fighting the Elder Dragons. Palawa Joko's arc was that break, but it was rushed through. You wouldn't feel like you wanted that break right now if we'd stuck with the Palawa story and we'd remained fairly focused on it. There would have been a concession to make in that Krauk and Torek might have felt somewhat too inactive as things went along. But so, why do that? Why rush through both? Is it just to make it feel like the dragons are constantly moving and doing things? Do they hold that criticism that dear to their hearts? I'm not sure. I tend to think that it's all because... I think it might be tied to the whole decision not to have an expansion as well, immediately after this. I don't know. What could it have been? Were they really planning some, like, big push of a new product? Do you think, guys? And it somehow... The thing is, you would expect if they were doing a new product... Oh, I'm doing, like, power damage here. I need to remember what does condition damage. Oh, maybe I should be sword, because I don't get... Yeah, I don't know. we'll play dagger for the fun of it. We'll see how hard the boss is. I don't know. You'd think if they were doing a new product or whatever, it would just sit alongside Guild Wars 2. It wouldn't supersede it.
Something odd's going on. Is that ley energy?
Hulk's impact broke into subsurface ley lines?
Someone said, what if they just wanted the living world to feel like it actually does huge stuff? What are you talking about? It already did huge stuff in the previous season. What, Flashpoint didn't happen? The introduction of a god didn't happen? Epic old world mysteries like the Massat and the ancient races didn't happen? Come on. And Palawa Joko's cool. It's not about the subject material, it's about the handling of the subject material. A Palawa Joko's story can feel every bit as epic as a Krauk and Torek story. Just because the scope of the subject material has deemed one thing more important than another, it doesn't mean you can't get enjoyment out of so-called lesser arcs.
Hope everything's all right.
It's just about how you handle it.
See you there.
The only loss is that sense of urgency, and the dragons need to feel like a threat. I read an interesting post that it feels like, for the first time really, it's okay for the dragons not to be a threat. There's 3 left. 2 of them are sleeping. 1 of them's mysteriously missing underwater. It's okay for it to feel like there's not a threat right now. And so they could go 2 ways with Season 5. It could be very relaxed, or it could be very suddenly explosively on the scene with dragons activities. I don't know. Alright, so we're going to find Aureen now, and Aureen is back near the underworld area. It's quite clever the way they did this, by the way. Have you noticed how if I went clockwise, I would have ended here, and if I went counterclockwise, which I did, I end here. But in both situations, I have to trek back to where I came from to find Aureen. for maximum value out of the map. What did someone say? I had a big a second ago. Someone was disappointed with the end of the season. Let's see. I don't want to sound like a dick, and it's evident ArenaNet have put a lot of work into the patch, everything considered recently, but I was left wholly dissatisfied with the season's conclusion, says Deborahs. It might just be because I subjectively don't enjoy the direction, but it's also possibly they didn't quite deliver what the potential could have been for the story conclusion. Also, the lack of a teaser for the next episode left me with a bit of an empty feeling. Oh, I definitely have that bit of an empty feeling too. I don't know whether I'm right to have it, but I sense it. Yeah, I think what you're saying is maybe fair. If your complaints are with the Aurene revival, there's a whole discussion I need to find a way to unpack on that.
What are they?
Newborns.
And it's to do with the way
like wyverns and drakes.
information
Call them
propagates
sky
in the age
scans.
of the internet. I know that
I'm
sounds really
taking a few to
stupid,
help
but
with Crocatoria.
it kind of happens with TV shows and
Teach
stuff
the rest
too.
quickly. We fly
I was
on
watching some
borrowed
interesting interviews, or I say interesting, vaguely interesting interviews, with George R.R. Martin, right? Obviously, it's the final season of Game of Thrones, and there's a whole lot to look at and talk about with that. Anyway, I was watching some old interviews with him where he was talking about... like, he started this... The first book came out in, like, 1991 or something crazy, right? Like, the books are, like, as old as me, maybe a little bit younger than me. Maybe a little bit older than me. But he was talking about when the internet was coming about, how people on discussion forums were now able to talk and fill one another in with information that they'd missed. He was talking about how as he was writing the books, you could kind of imagine some people would miss some hints to mysteries and things that would come up later. And cool, you can surprise them later. And a couple of really clever people might get it. But now he was looking at these early message boards and these early forum spaces where people were talking about his books, and that people had genuinely resolved and figured out mysteries, and figured out stuff that he was telegraphing and foreshadowing and setting up and establishing, breadcrumbing. And so he had kind of a moment where he was having a bit of a crisis and he was wondering what he should do. And he said he'd resolved to, and I'm not saying he's right, this is just his perspective on it, he'd resolved to not let that tamper with his media. That he was just going to write the story as he wrote it. That to panic and to change last moment would have been to invalidate a lot of his earlier setups. He'd have to architect new ones. It wouldn't have been the thing he'd been initially passionate about. And so he's just going to plow on through, for better or worse. He's going to stick with his thing. But it's a real question, do you plow on through? He pointed out that he'd seen several TV shows that clearly hadn't plowed on through, and that had just changed things at the last minute, and he didn't think that was the right way to go. Well, we'll see, right? But obviously Game of Thrones the show ended up revealing certain things that people had always thought would be true, and you know, and there's a question of, if you've speculated about so long and you've thought about it so long, does it coming to pass have any satisfaction? Particularly when you're in a media form that is seeking to continuously surprise, and I know it's the hot button top word, subvert the expectations of people. So with Game of Thrones, it's like, oh, now that the internet's a thing, everyone's talked about L plus R equals J, for example. So that's no longer exciting because people know, and the novels are kind of on a principle of keeping you on your edge and to do the unexpected to a certain extent. And Guild Wars, to a certain extent, tries to do that. You know, this is a tool that writers use to keep people hooked. And now your twists are being spoiled and they're not working anymore. So how do you write TV and movies? And, you know, we see a lot of the criticism of The Last Jedi and all the discussion people had about Snoke and, like, expectations of things to come, and then do people panic and change stuff, and what's the right way through? So looking specifically at ArenaNet, even more tangible stuff can happen. In Season 1, I believe it was mined, it was leaked, something happened, that Marjorie Delacroix was going to die in the finale. Seriously, she was going to die. And they had voice acting done and everything done for her to die. Marjorie was going to die. But people found out early, and the devs changed it. They changed the ending, and now Marjorie's a character that's very much lingered on the precipice for this season. And throughout Path of Fire, let's be real. How much Marjorie have we had in the past 2 years? But she's still alive, and, you know, that's a fundamental change. And, you know, I'm not saying you can't organically adapt and move things around like that. But in that example, they changed it. In another example, they've stuck with their guns. So Aurene coming back to life, the power of the Lich. People honed in on that pretty goddamn quickly. On my original stream, people were saying, you know, I originally was thinking, oh, they've got to kill her. They've got to leave her dead. Like, they set up the feeling and the style of the episode as being Aurene is dead, and they really let you indulge in that. But it only takes a second to realize, you know, the Lich connection. And it's a great story they're telling, okay? The facts of the story are fantastic. To have the Joko arc and influence on Ilona and our activities there so fundamentally influence the story of the Elder Dragons by tying the two things together, it's a masterstroke. It's perfect. It's what the story needs. If the Joko Aurene resurrection is not a thing, then where is the cohesiveness in this story? What is the Joko arc except the indulgence of Guild Wars 1 lore and having to do something because it was written in the movement of the world? What is it? It works. It's a really well-written piece, and the surprise of her coming back could have been interesting too. But, you know, people find these things, and so what do you do from the writer's room? Do you panic again like in Season 1? Well, they didn't on this one. They instead, like... I mean, it's so interesting the way that they wrote that scene. They don't talk about it very much. They just say, praise Joko, because they know that you know. Or the vast majority of you know. And this leads me back into that discussion earlier as well about games. What about the player that plays in 2025? You know, that scene works really well for me, and that works really well for you passionate Wooden Potatoes viewers who get all the hot takes and stuff. But how does that work for someone in 2025 who literally 5 minutes ago had that experience, is not on a Twitch stream, is not on Reddit, is not on forums, is not with friends in Discord, does not think of Joko immediately? Does that beat work for them? And that was something I was wondering about on the original stream playthrough we did as well. So, yeah, I think the whole thing's pretty fascinating. So, anyway, back to, oh, I'm disappointed with the direction. You know, I had many comments on my video saying, oh, they shouldn't have brought Aurene back. The storytelling's gone down the shitter. This was so expected. This was so obvious. This was so bad because it was so obvious. I don't think it is obvious. I think it's obvious to you as a nerd on the internet that has no perspective on your own activities. And I think that in sequence, maybe it's not expected. But in sequence, it may not be expected. But in sequence, they don't indulge in the unexpectedness. They kind of hand-wave it. Because they kind of... And they're hand-waving it for the audience... For us today, who have waited 3 months and speculated about it for 3 months and thought about the ramifications of Aurene's death and the consequence of her returning and all the stuff with Glint at the start and the secret that only dragons could know, which, by the way, was not paid off in this finale. Did you guys notice? Like, so which audience is truly satisfied here? It's hard. It's hard. Maybe a reason why, and I will finish this off with one thing that I've been deeply thinking about recently. And I'm quite a shallow thinker on a lot of topics, I'll say, for Guild Wars. I really am. But as much as I accuse other people of thinking too shallow about topics, I still myself think I barely wade into the waters. However, on this, I've been thinking a lot. The Guild Wars 1 campaign format. Increasingly over time, there are little elements of it that I buy into, and I think... more than they ever could have known, maybe ArenaNet of 2005 was ahead of the game in a way that they could never have truly realized. It's interesting. I think there's so much beneficial stuff to the campaign format, but we will talk about that. As in, like a resetting and a new story, a new D&D campaign style thing for your platform of an MMO. But we'll talk about that some other time. I need to actually
In all the pale
shoot more
tree's
footage here.
dreams, I saw nothing like these.
The sky scales. They can get us to Kralkatorrik's wing. That's why Aurene
The
summoned us.
specific physical,
Going to
mechanical
ride one up to
interactions of
collect his
pulling
blood.
branded stuff
Will
out
they
of her to
trust
bring
you?
her back to
Maybe
life
if I feed them
was
first.
maybe limp, yeah.
They're related to dragons.
But I understand why they did it
dragons
at the
eat
very
magic,
beginning of
don't
the
they?
patch, because,
I have
you know,
to
you
try.
can't have it as a surprise anymore. You can't have it as a twist when everyone's talked about it and talked it to death. And, you know, it's just this weird thing. That is the community having and the atmosphere of the community having a very direct impact
That's it. Gently.
on
Up
the
we go.
storytelling. Which is not how a lot of your favorite franchises and stories were told, I think.
There
you know,
you
we're in
go.
different times. And it affects games on so many fronts, because obviously you've got gameplay spoiler, not just story issues dealing with this. You've got problems with, why am I losing juice while being idle? I didn't think that was a thing, was it? Unless you see a bit of brown on the UI. I really don't know much about the sky scale controls right now. But yeah, if you look at like just the whole phenomenon, raiding for example, right? And progression, PvEing, you know, this stuff is in community-oriented games. There's
Now
like
you're happy,
two
aren't you?
lives that these things have. They have their progression lives, and then they have their farm lives, where everyone's just, the information's propagated and everyone just teaches one another, and all of a sudden you get comments saying, Guild Wars 2 raids are really easy compared to Final Fantasy 14's. Do you know what? Every time I read someone saying that, I haven't even played FF14, but every time I read someone saying that, I think you're a wanker, mate, because it's very unlikely you've done progression in both games. The only thing that's truly comparable, I think, is progression in both games. Maybe you can say while on farm, FF14's raids are more demanding in terms of positioning or whatever, but the notion that Guild Wars 2 raids are just fundamentally easy is bullcrap. It's just that once you master the Guild Wars 2 raids and you've learned the stuff, but people who make those comparisons and comments aren't the ones that learn the stuff and aren't the ones that put the effort in and aren't the ones that have got a fucking clue about the true difficulty. The true difficulty of a raid in Guild Wars 2 is only laid bare to a select few. Those who get off their asses and play it at the start and enjoy some of the best content in the game. You can't just go in on a pug
I
Veil
found a way
Guardian
up to that wing,
and experience it
without
twice
instruments
and
or
say, oh, I
guidance,
know how
so
this
that
is done and
interference
this is
shouldn't matter.
really easy.
Perfect. Get up there as
I mean,
fast
some of
as
those
you
things
can.
have genuinely
We've
been
got
power crept
spears,
now, and that's
we
fair,
need
but...
blood. Kralkator's healing fast.
I'll head back to the Crystal Bloom. Fly high, Commander. You were born for this.
Alright, Daily Dragonfall malts. Lovely. Alright, fly on a sky scale up Kralkatoric's wing now. So we get to unfog this area. Let's go back to Pack Command. You have a feeling that the gods are behind this? Behind what specifically? Yeah, and the Lissa Balthazar stuff hasn't been done, so hey, maybe Season 5 is like a Menzies story? What do you think about that? It's pretty clear by now their storytelling has fully embraced the implications of their episodic releases. They have 4 months of shock and sadness among the player base for the death of Aurene, even though in story terms she stays dead for just a few days, and if you play the episodes back to back, she stays dead just 5 minutes. I understand their choice, but clearly goes to the detriment of a story that works as a single arc as you go through. In a way, you know, they felt somewhat reluctant to do Season 2 and the replayable thing. You know, the Heart of Living World as an idea was an in-the-moment thing. So, you know, they bowed to the player base ultimately with Season 2, and they made the content repeatable, and they did think more long-term about it. But maybe they're happy with the Aurene arc as it was, you know, something that was indulged in for those few months and never more. You know, the other thing is, right, maybe they're just really... maybe they have come to terms with the cold, hard reality that all the players that play this content from now till 2025 is just a drop in the ocean compared to those who play it on release, right? Maybe that's the truth. Maybe the truth... Because we all know this about people. They have short attention spans, and they're constantly looking for the new best thing. Constantly. There is no escape from that. They will abandon games very quickly unless you continuously throw new stuff at them. No old stuff. No matter how good an old game is, people just don't, in general, people don't give old games the credit that they're due. They don't become fundamentally worse over time or necessarily overshadowed by their more contemporary peers, but people won't look at them. And so, you know, there's a huge amount of throughput right as something comes out and very little later. So maybe the right thing to do is to live in the moment, you know? And as much as it would be nice to have products that stand the test of time, there's not any reason for it. Maybe that's it, guys. I don't know. So, to climb this next bit, I really think they're teaching us something here. This is like your actual sky scale tutorial. Okay, I sort of made it. I don't know whether that was right, and we had to dismount to do it, so... Oh. Okay, and then we walk along the wing. I'm not trying to defend those wankers, but Squeenix did add multiple difficulties to appease the super hardcore raiding audience. Yeah, and look, I'm not saying that they actually are wrong, because they do have those super high difficulties and stuff, right? And on farm, they're probably right. But what I am saying is people speak from a place of experience they don't have.
Hello?
And that's what frustrates me, that's all.
Anyone? All right. Find the source of this interference. Find the blood. Charge the spear. I can do this.
And for FF14, you know, you can't really... I'm certainly in no position to criticize that game. But you can't just say, oh, it's only successful because of the franchise it's a part of. You know, that's a true turnaround story game. So clearly they've done something. Guild Wars has always been looking at an audience... Oh, hold on. We want to discuss here. Looking at an audience that other MMOs don't, right? Like with the moving away from the gear treadmill and stuff. And most players like that stuff.
Yes, I tried that too. But if it's organic, our systems won't be able to...
Gorik, can you hear
Honestly,
me?
if we get more difficulties, I just want harder stuff.
You're back.
Well, I don't want to get into a whole discussion about those. People have said it 1,000 times before. There's nothing new. I'll add to the discussion. There's a chicken and the egg situation. You know, the population's not there to support so many fractured game modes within a game mode. But the population's not there because the game modes aren't there. So what do you add first? Blah 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 blah.
Tiny's thesis says dragons and related species can hover. Like dragonflies.
Any thoughts on actually playing FF14? Maybe a couple of streams, video style? Yeah, dude, I'm up for it. Genuinely, I'm up for it because we're streaming every day. So we'll pick a day. What day of the week do you guys want? Like, if you're here at this stream right now, a lot of you might end up being regulars. You can have your say. Druidstone will definitely be the first because I'm really excited about that. Oh man, look at the airship back there. This is hype. Does that have collision? Oh, I'm not on a griffin though, so I can't. Oh man. Alright. Okay, this mount feels really weird. Okay. This is the button to rise. And now we land and we get our juice back. Okay. But yeah, the other one I want to do is WoW Classic. I'm very much interested in seeing how that goes. Because I've never played World of Warcraft at all, so my experience of it will be very strong.
That's plenty. You can send up the choppers for more blood, Timey. I've destroyed the source of the interference. Now, how exactly do we fuse the blood and the spears? We don't have the forge.
Gorik, any progress on an alternative?
We'll plate them. Specific resonance at close range should flex the crystalline structure sufficiently to permit fusion. In short, we can
I
use
forgot how long this dialogue was.
WoW,
people already stream them WoW Classic? What, because it's in beta or whatever? Well, look, I talked about this a while ago. It's not that I'm some massive fanboy or geek for Blizzard. I actually have no connection or understanding of it whatsoever, but that's why I'm interested, because I kind of want to see the other side of the coin, and I want to see if it really is in the spirit of the original MMO. I just want to learn about it and have a bit more perspective about MMOs. That's all it is. And I just think it would be good and healthy for me and the job I'm doing. I think it would be a good idea. You know, not anything to get majorly addicted to. Last time I mentioned it, people were really excited at the prospect, but now there's a lot more cynicism in chat, it seems. But I am interested. I wouldn't ever, like, pay a sub for it or go really far with it, but I would like to get a feel. To be clear, I did play World of Warcraft a little bit on someone else's account. I never owned my own. Years and years and years ago. By the way, I did read in chat you can get an achievement for landing on the airship. I'll try that again later, I guess. If it has collision, that's so cool. Look, it's all the way over there. I probably can't get to it. So far away. Yeah, I have played a little bit, so I know a little bit. But not much. And certainly not
Good
anything
hunting,
real. You know, it's an
Commander.
MMO, and I know
I
that
see you
MMOs
have
you
the
cannot
blood.
get a feel for in
Here is the spear.
100 hours, let
Coat it
alone
with Krakator's blood.
probably like 6.
Brief
But I remember
resonance
being
should
really
fuse
excited
the
when I
two
first played it.
together.
I was still very young at
Should.
the time. It was like
Let's hope Gork's
around when
right.
RuneScape was still one of the only
Ready to
MMOs I'd ever
sing,
played.
sister?
And there was just something so thrilling about finding new worlds and exploring them in that way. Okay, so we're going to reforge the blade. The airship does have collision, and Taimi and Saida have a bit of dialogue. Nice. Hovering around
true
the crystal
dragon's
wing
blood
with a
spear.
sky scale is the easiest
May
way to get
fare
it.
better than the last.
It does look really high.
Now, Commander.
You
show
played
us
WoW
a
for
god of
10 minutes
war.
on your friend's account, but never felt like playing it again. 10 minutes? Man! There is not a game. You can't even say that you understand Minesweeper in 10 minutes. 10 minutes is nothing. And I stand by that. You cannot truly understand Minesweeper and what's fun about it and the addictive properties of it and the different difficulties modes in 10 minutes. You can't do it. Maybe the only game you can get your fill of in 10 minutes is Pong. Alright? The original game. That's about as far as you can get. Let alone an MMO. What's wrong with you? Try it again. Get off my stream and try World of Warcraft. Go back in time. Alright, let's go kill these. After 10 minutes, I said too many buttons. And Bless Online. Wow. Look, Bless Online is a joke from last year. You're out of date. Get over it. Bless is a great game. Get over it. That's right, I'm a Bless fanboy now. I don't even know what was wrong with Bless. All I know is the refugees came to Guild Wars.
Our scouts tell me that Kralkatorrik is generating a field of
What? Why is it
red conflicts
invulnerable?
over his body.
Is that a joke?
Not ideal.
Also, I'm doing basically no damage with these now because it's not a power build, I'm realizing. So I do 10 bleed. Is 10 bleed in any way comparable to friggin' what? What does this do on a power build? I mean, we still get the 10k damage, I guess. Okay, branded spear 2. So I actually do need to specifically spear them. And I don't really have any modifiers, right? The degree of power build we get. Death branded Wrathbringer. I really want to go and see that thing. Oh, they are actual green crosses on the map, so that's nice. Here he is. This is not pleasant, let me tell you. Oh look, and here's the other problem. If I kill it with the bleed from the spear, does it still count as a kill? I mean, I don't know whether it will. Why am I so swarmed? I'm not even in an event. Landru's allies are pissed. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to DPS it down and use it as a finishing blow. Oh yeah, our elite is actually good for damage on the Condi build. Oh my god, it died too quick. Shit. The thing is with Condi Weaver is just so bursty. There we go. Alright, we speared one. We got it. 4 out of 10. This is the first time we've had actual combat in the patch, guys. Holy crap. And even then, the combat is being supplemented by a fucking special action that dominates the experience. I'm not sure I like that. Do you know what they could do? They could go back to the personal story in Quarteria. Wait, hear me out. And make the game good so that they have a general understanding of what the power of people's builds are and combat capabilities. And then they can put more combat in the recent Living World things and not have boss fights be pushovers. I know I just said that, and we're going to get to the boss fight in a second. I'm going to get destroyed, and now it's going to be really embarrassing. But that's because I'm on a gimmicky build, guys. Right? Because I'm not a meta monkey. Okay. All right, we got 6 out of 10. Just make the game good. Yeah, I know. Look, that's the kind of amazing observation you're going to get anywhere else on the internet, so I may as well, you know, may as well enjoy myself. Wait, what? Oh, this skill is so weird now. Okay, we got another one. Is this like Triple Trouble? You have to kill them all together? Or is it just a coincidence everyone's doing that like that? Everyone's synchronizing that button. Tomorrow's going to be really cool. We're going to do the meta tomorrow, guys. You should join in. It's going to be great. Okay, how many more? Just one more now. It is. It's like Triple Trouble in Ulrich Basin. Nice. Oh, yeah, look, they're reviving in 10, 9. Is this how the meta failed before? Oh, there you go. They're back to Krauk now. Weak point destroyed.
The spear. Is it?
Working beautifully. Time for the real test.
Kralkatorek. Trinear's Claw Champion. There's cover from the Brandstorm.
So another thing, I've seen people criticizing. Oh yeah, we're just hitting his claw first. I was gonna say, if that's the lead-in to the final instance, then that's such a like subdued, like minor description that they do there. It's kind of insane. What was I gonna say? Yeah, I've seen quite a bit of. Oh shit! It's the Fury of the Brand. Let's just get through this. Seen quite a bit of criticism about the handling of the sky scale. What do you guys think in terms of that? I kind of like it. It feels alright. A bit clunky because I don't know it that well right now, but it feels kind of fun moving around and hovering. Am I wrong? I know it's supposed to get a lot better with the mastery, and none of us know what the mastery feels like because, you know, it's not in game because time gates and all that stuff. So I know people have their grievances about time gates, and yeah, we can go in circles about time gate discussions for years to come. But the handling of the mount itself, do you think they'll have to change it? They've changed a lot of the mounts in response to audience feedback about how their handling is. So do you think this is another case where that will happen? I've got to say, I'm being a real devil's advocate with the sky scale stuff. I know people are whining, but I really like how hard it is to get. Or at least how long it takes. I love that no one's got one right now. I love that for all these years to come, people are going to be going through all the Living World episodes. It's like Aurora. I made this comparison yesterday. I think Aurora was brilliant for the health of the Season 3 maps, and I think that the Sky Scale is going to be brilliant for the health of the Season 4 maps. I just think it's really cool. I just think that the prize at the end should be very fun to use. Now, I'm not going to say power crept, because I don't believe in locking off genuine gameplay, you know, important stuff behind really long wars. But, you know, it's kind of like it feels like a prestige, man. It feels like the Griffin thing again. I'm really excited to start seeing some sky scales around. See some people flying around on them in Heart of the Mists. By the way, I noticed that the Heart of the Mist didn't add any sky scale, like, routes, which is a real shame, because that map, if there's any map that should have had a good sky scale interaction, it's the one set in the Mist, surely. And they just sort of didn't do that, so. You should just have infinite flight juice there.
But we're already distributing the ones we've finished.
I think the Sky Scale collection is not just that, but it's probably a legendary amulet one as well. Really? You would have liked to explore the map while on it instead of being pissed off at the entire process. I mean, yeah, but I just know people will have very low tolerance for not getting the shiny new thing that they want. That's basically what it is. The Griffin would have had the exact same response, except that it was never advertised or talked about, so they could get away with doing it difficult. In fact, if you go back and watch the VODs of some of my other streams, right when Path of Fire came out, I talked about it. I talked about how genius the entire implementation of the Griffin was, because it allowed them to do a big gold gate and a big collection process, and no one complained because there was never an expectation you'd get it in the first place. But with this patch, it was like a leading advertised thing. They made the mistake of having a stream on it early. They did a lot of stuff that encouraged people to think that they'd get it super quick and handed to them on a plate like everything in Guild was, and that's not actually the situation. They need to be clear about this stuff. They need to say, look, this is not like an instant earn. Not even phrase it like that, that's too nice. This is a difficult earn. Say it at the gate.
We get a bunch of branded together, and boom.
Don't try and have your cake and eat it too, because people will not let you have it. Be honest with them. You know, I was reading about a Don't Starve update the other day, like their roadmap for 2019, and the devs on their forum blatantly admitted to having become burnt out by development on Don't Starve, and that they didn't like how hard it was to go with their idea, so they were trying something else. They literally just said that to their community. Yeah, we're burnt out. We didn't enjoy this. And because that's like the rapport that they've built with their community, there was no crying or QQ or rage or whining. That was it. Adults just understanding development and moving on with their lives. But, you know, Guild Wars has not fostered that kind of communication. So you have this kind of weird stuff. They should. I would love it if this game and its community was in a position where they could honestly just say to one another, yeah, it's meant to be hard because it's going to be a while for Season 5. So, and we kind of had that with Guild Wars 1. Yeah, Eye of the North is short because we're working on a sequel, and it's going to be with a lot of grind because it's going to be a while before the sequel's out. But look, you get cool rewards for doing reputation checks. Sorry, we know that we don't like that in this franchise, but that's what they said. You don't get that kind of candor. Candor is king, everybody.
Commander, you're right. The spear really works. But somehow...
Am I in the meta event?
Is still healing.
What?
I know.
Is this the end of the meta event cutscene? And I'm in it in the middle of the dialogue, which means my footage is broken. Or is this a part of the actual story? I just don't remember it. I mean, we're getting the dialogue. Yeah, this is the end of the meta event.
We have to get in there and block that
Maybe that
ley line.
works. Maybe that serves it quite well. Actually.
Good. Kate, you come too.
Commander, do you need your pack marshal?
Flint's army needs you. Stick with them. Commander, I'm coming.
It's settled. Let's go.
Well, that cinematic wasn't as good as the Mouth of Morgemoth one. I know that they're going to cringe that I'm making that comparison, but I am. It's a bit of a shame. Well, I guess I'll open some chests. I got a key, apparently. Sorry about the frame rate. Not much I can do. We haven't had another crash, thankfully. I need to remember if I do get another one that this strong box... sorry, if I... Whoa, what happened to my brain there? If I do get another crash, to remember to the error code. Now, let me just say to anyone watching the VOD right now, if another crash does occur, that's just going to be the end of this video in this stream. I will go live again for the audience currently watching on Twitch, but for the VOD, that will just be the end. You'll just move on to the next day, and I'll talk about what you missed. You won't have missed anything. I'll just say goodbye to people on the stream with another one. But I'm not going to upload a VOD of a 5-second goodbye, okay? So if there's another crash, if this video ends abruptly, then that's what happened. And, yeah. Alright, cool. Right, so... Kralkatorik's crystallized, got into his cocoon, and now... This is it, go into the caves under Kralkatorik. So I think there's a bit of discussion to be had about which characters are here at the end and why we choose them. But we'll get to that later. Look at all this sky scale routing here. Yeah, goodbye, VODers. No, we're still live. We're still live. It's interesting that you can fly into these on a griffin, but the griffin doesn't quite know what to do with them. You get the a bit of items, at least. That's the only thing you dislike about the meta event. They shouldn't move everyone not active. Well, the thing is, it is exactly the same as Dragon's Stand. The only reason that disappoints you right now is because this map has a lot more going on than Dragon's Stand.
To block a ley line.
I'll be there. Almora's army is about to attack. They'll keep him occupied while we go below and finish this.
All right, and here we go. So the final instance now. Descent. So summarize, what's my opinion of the Sky Scale collection? You don't want my opinion because I don't know much about it. All I know is collecting the scales. I know that you get to a certain point and then you wait for reset, and then you get to a certain point and you wait for reset. I know that there's a time gate within that established time gate I just set up there where you have to like feed it, and you can only feed it 3 times a day, but I think there's a way of bypassing that with currencies or something maybe. That's all I know. I've always been very tolerant to time gates though. I've always been very tolerant to dailies and stuff like that. I appreciate what they do for the product, and it helps me like pace myself, and I get to enjoy other stuff, and I don't need the shiny instantly.
All 4 armies are swarming Kralkatorik on Almora's command.
I don't really
a lot
have the
of
same
lives have already been lost.
And look, what you
It's
want is
up to
hive
us
mind
to make it
consensus,
count.
okay? A good streamer needs to offer
Commander,
hive
the
mind
ley line it's feeding
consensus.
Kralk is due south from
And
you.
unfortunately on that one, I'm not going to offer it to you.
Through
I
that
can offer you
wall of
hive mind
solid
consensus
rock.
on the topic of, well, I don't know, a lot of things, I guess.
This way.
That works.
Yeah, I've always been fairly tolerant, I would say, yeah. I just, I don't really, it's not ArenaNet, it's any game, any development studio, any,
What
His heartbeat.
I think there's a worrying thing in my generation, maybe. I don't know whether I should declare it as a part of my generation or, you know, with the internet, where people just seem to think criticism equals intelligence. So, like, it's hyper-inflated. And I don't actually believe that at all. Sorry. Criticism is obviously valuable, and you can have positive criticism. Can you have positive criticism? No. But what I'm trying to express is feedback can be intelligent and can be smart, but it is not inherently so, and people seem to just think it is. So that's all you ever get. Let's talk about the downsides. I mean, that's not it, but yeah.
Can't be much farther.
Yeah, I guess that's a way of phrasing it, Zendia. People think that all negative criticism is therefore constructive criticism, which is just so not true. And they also think that negative criticism equals intelligent criticism. Because if you're somehow comfortable, then that must mean you've just not thought hard enough about it yet. Or you just haven't seen the light. But it's possible to be comfortable with a lot of things and fully understand all the factors at play. In fact, a lot of things I only become comfortable with when I understand the factors at play.
We have our work cut out for us.
If I didn't understand the importance of pacing an audience out so that they keep the game logged in and more regularly, like, feel that experience of logging into Guild Wars 2 and it's a positive thing and, like, they have it in their schedules. If I didn't understand all those things, I would probably be a lot more annoyed at this or a Skyscale collection, for example.
He's unconscious.
If I didn't understand the importance of breaking the boom-bust nature of content releases, I'd probably just see the downsides for me as an individual player. But I kind of look a bit further. Alright, actual gameplay here, which I skipped on the original stream. God, this animation is so short. Ashen Blast? That feels like a 2012 skill. Which isn't bad, necessarily. Context of the rest of the game. I mean, look at how small the hitbox is on this. You would have expected it to cleave them all out. I guess it is a skill 2, so... honestly, a dagger Condi build, I'm not even sure what attunement to prioritize. Except just dipping between fire and earth. Isn't a fire-water mix got a little bit of... No, this is CC. And a water field, actually, I think. Is mudslide bleeds? No. I really love the feel of Earth 2 now. This does bleed, so it's a little bit of air for grinding stones. Mostly we're just getting damage out of our utilities. Should get used to spamming Signet of Fire as much as possible. Okay, so Aureen's going to brand it. Let's get a good animation of that.
Line them up and knock them down.
On to the next.
Yeah, earth and air. Yeah, grinding stones. When should I double attune? I guess a fire double attune's okay. None of the other ones are, though. So very, very, very rarely. And how much Condi is on Ashen Blast? Is it a lot? It's 1 burn, 8 seconds. Good duration on it. The thing is, in PvE, this is Condi builds in PvE laid bare. Shit's dead before you get the full value out of your ramp, always. So 3, please. Think about the playtime it usually takes for your casual Let's Play Living World footage patches and how I'm about to one-show. Well, no, there's a few things I want to talk about there. I do agree that this patch is very short. And I'm mixed on this patch. I genuinely am mixed on this patch. I just don't know just yet what is the real bits I'm really upset with. Or where that lies. Oh my god, these griffins are mental. Is that some kind of reflex or something? Like, what is that? What's these random one-shots? Get early up. Hide us out. That invulnerability was really bad because what I had was I had double stone resonance proc there for just tons of barrier, and I invulned through that window, so it was pretty much pointless. I do think this patch is short. However, this stream is not exactly comparable to the other ones. This stream, I've been talking to you guys in chat and mostly letting the dialogue go in the background and just reading it instead of listening to the voice acting and paying attention to each little thing. It's completely unfair. This would still take several hours to get through in my normal style. But I do think it's short. I do think it's a short patch. And that's unfortunate. Morning, Odkin. Welcome, welcome. They reflect power damage. Interesting. Are my allies using spears and they're reflecting them? Is that what's happening? Am I getting hit with spears each time? I feel like I'm getting dazed. I'm definitely not getting a mode.
Tell Elmora to move all armies in for the kill. Go, go, go!
Actually, I was, to be fair, the 10 bleed, if it were to get the full duration, it is 15k damage. Does the game know that it's Dragon's Blood Spear bleed for the tag of the kill then? Okay, why is it stalled? Oh, they're going in for the kill. Oh, I never got a good shot of his head. Shit, this video might not be very good because I haven't paid enough attention to looking at the things I should have been looking at. Honestly, you like the story? It felt very satisfying. Everything obvious happened. Everything was leading up to this was kind of obvious, but because of the release schedule, there's so much time in theory crafting that the obvious thing now seems right. Yeah, you just articulated there is what I had a whole discussion on a second ago, and that is the nature of storytelling in these times.
Timey, what's happening?
So release it all in one bulk, where people don't. Basically, I think conversation contaminates how we experience stuff, and that's a hilarious thing for me to identify and talk about. You know, based on the content of a lot of my YouTube videos, you know, which is purely around speculation and you know, mysteries in the world.
We need to go in.
There's no other way.
What? Through his mouth?
Conversation contaminates. I don't like that phrase.
Just Aurene and me. If she dies in there, Joko's magic can resurrect her. The rest of you, not so much.
But that goes for you.
Do you think season 5 will basically hot swap the cast to some of the lesser seen people? We spent a lot of time with Kaz, Jory, Zodja.
If he starts healing again, it's over.
Dylan. Sorry, Kyle. Why did I say Dylan? Kyle. Who's Kyle, everybody?
Ritlock.
Who is Kyle?
Listen, Dragon's Watch.
Well, keep an eye out on my channel for my season 1 recap, and you'll know.
Aurene.
Only one person's going to respond to that without wikiing it first. It's going to be Potted. That's the only person.
Champion, it's
there you go. Right after I say, everyone pay close attention to the timing there. With the chat on the screen. It was right after I said it. Alright, here we go. So climb atop Aurene. They're very careful about that animation there, by the way. Because there clearly would have been 2 Aurenes for a second. But they delete the old one. They hold you very clearly in place. So this is an actual flying. I wonder if they had a version of this before where it was. But people aren't savvy enough with the sky scale at this point. And it just became too fiddly and irritating. And it ruined the power of the moment. So they put you on rails instead. Also, maybe taking her away from sky scale controls helps to emphasize the difference between her and a sky scale. So you don't get to control her. She's her own entity kind of thing. So you get the fantasy of riding her, but you don't get the control of her. Only one or another.
I can feel all the magic sunshine. They're not in harmony.
This is a really cool sequence. I wonder how they actually did this. Is this the world moving around us, like on the Super Adventure Box raft? Or are we actually on a mount and the mount is moving? Because if we're on a mount and the mount is moving, then isn't that the back end for that essentially the same kind of thing you'd use for a Guild Wars 2 Warthog mount kind of thing, right? I mean, like a Halo Warthog. I mean, a side seat. I mean, like a multi-person mount.
Million agonies. So much suffering.
I don't like her voice, man. I don't think I like it. Let's look at her face again as she speaks and really try and reconcile the two.
I think he wants us here.
I don't know.
You sure about that?
Maybe I like it. It's just because it's alien. It's just because it's different. That's all it is. I'm too mixed on it for me to feel it was a good idea. Maybe it is good. Maybe I do like it. But that mixed sensation I've got from it, I think it's detracted from the release. Especially considering she's not necessarily going to be around too much going forwards. It's nice we get a bit of Kraukatoric's stormy nature here. I think it should have started raining or something.
Fractured, warring with the other magics.
Yeah, I am. No, I'm not fully attuned. I'm half fire. You just couldn't see. I was not fully attuned. Alright, here we go. We actually get to experience this content now. So, there's a burn phase. And I missed it completely. This is a weird fight. What's actually happening? So let's see. There is a single shockwave when it lands. 0, 0. Do I have to use the spear, I guess? Oh, does the spear make it vulnerable, maybe? Oh, I should have flame walled there. Oh my god, I'm dead. What is it that hit me? Can I not stand in the arms? Is that what it is? I have to stay range? Also, these big gusts sweeping through are like really concerning. I don't know. The tankiness of this build is really weird to play with. Because it's like barrier dependent. Like I'm screwed now. My resources all spent, so I'm like so dead. Let me stay back this time and signal fire it from range. And I won't use my point blank AoEs. It just seems to be a lot of damage if I go into it. I'll flame wall it from range. He's not cleansing when he withdraws the arm. I think anyway. Or maybe he is. Is this one? Okay, so I can burn him faster. This is a lot like Conjured Amalgamate. Does he have separate health bars for each one, I wonder, or we can trigger our elite on the next one as well? Oh, we don't do 100%. We only do 33% each. Okay, all right, that's fine. The damage isn't as low as I thought it was then. This is so forgiving as a bubble. What happens if I'm outside of it? It's almost like it's an Easter egg to die there. They're so scared of getting you killed and breaking the emotion of the moment. Look at how forgiving the protected bubble is. There's no nightmare moat on this one either. So these guys, clearly you're not meant to stand there. Wow, me and Doreen together burnt the hell out of him there. That was cool, actually. I was using Drake's Breath while she was using her own Drake's Breath. Oh, man. What? Why have I not got a target, first of all? And second of all, how was I in range of that? Okay, so we get the Balthazar fight now, meaningfully. Like, using my original footage was just not going to work. This stuff was just dead so quick. So this is actual Balthazar mechanics. Look, he's got the Balthazar telegraphs. What is that behind him? It's the, what is that behind him? I don't know. Do you guys know? I shouldn't have double attuned. Nor should I have elited. I should have saved this for the boss. We'll dodge this. Okay, burn to death. Burning Balthazar to death, baby. Oh, he got branded. Like a spike came up in him and then she broke the spike. Now She destroys this. I don't like these bubbles. ArenaNet use these bubbles all the time, and I think they look really ugly. I don't like how as I turn the camera, the effect moves. I just think they look messy. And they've used them so much. Just don't like this. It's like there's grit on the screen, and I can't shake it off, you know. I want to blink a lot, like clear my eyes. Read the tooltip for a shield. I did on stream. This is just branded lightning shield, I guess, at the moment. I remembered reading, so it was called like Aureen's. Oh, I need to. Shit. I need to. It was called Aureen's Hope or something before, wasn't it? I think having branded Devourer hatchlings is pretty lame for trash mobs here. But we can have some better ads. I guess they felt that would all make it too dangerous, but you know these are the problems. Yeah, this burn's going really well. He's got 35 burn on him right now. If that still ticks, yeah, he's getting ticked hard right now. Oh look, he has the clap attack. Oh, is that his head? Is he burnable?
I'll protect you.
What I was thinking on the original stream, by the way, is how much like a Jade armor he looks like. And I don't think that's deliberate. I don't think they're doing that on purpose that he looks like a Jade armor. So I kind of don't like it. I don't think they're drawing a connection between the Massart Jade armors and him. I was going to ask on the original stream how many eyes he has, because, you know, if he had lots of eyes, it would be like quite directly. Okay, don't stand in it. What am I doing right now? So I can just flame all that.
I understand, grandfather. We'll end it for you.
See, oh, I see. When you stand outside, you just get struck by lightning. Does she revive you? She does! She revives you! Nice! I wonder what the skin is. Wait, Ori! Fuck! Damage taken. Brand field, it's called. Alright, we get this. I just totally lost a thread of something cool I was going to say. Yeah, no, I was going to... Well, not cool. I was going to say, look, what if the game was in a place where they could balance really cool fights, I think all kinds of players would be satisfied with a patch like this, because you'd have people like me listening to the dialogue, and everyone else would actually be experiencing a really cool gauntlet. Right now, the combat is only here to serve the story, so you'd best hope you enjoy the story. I swear to God, I'm not activating skills right now. I'm going to actually trigger the Signet. I forgot I can do that, because I have the Grandmaster trait, so I don't lose the passive when I trigger it. This guy's hitting me really hard. I'm dead. I can't do anything. Where's the confusion coming from? I don't understand. And I don't think I can rally myself either, because this Tendril, because I'm on a Condi build, and it takes ages to get Condi damage. I guess Aureen reses me. It's a nice little efficient thing they can do there, basically having Aureen feel like a hero that helps us, and also ensure that you don't die and get broken out of the moment. You know? Also, it's been a while since I'm going to just... Oh, I could have been bombed first there as well. That's true. So he's immune to Condis, I guess, is why I'm killing him so slowly. Just all Condis. Maybe I need to spear him first. Let's try and spear him first. No. Is he immune to conditions? Because in the actual Morgemoth fight, you're meant to do the mechanic, but the mechanic's not here, right? So they copied the actual... Oh, what? And this guy spawned and he's got that field. I'm going to Vapor out of that because I'm dying way too quick. And it seems Aureen takes a while to finish animating. Okay, I got a rally. We got lots of barrier. But again, this is so bad, guys. I will really want that Obsi Flesh before I move. Heal. This is a water field, so maybe I could double water. It's gone already. Shit. Why does that disappear so quick? Oh, this is hell. This is hell. Having a Condi immune boss? Do you think this was deliberate? Do you think I'm missing a mechanic? I wonder what failure looks like in this instance, because I think we're about to find out. If we go down... Oh, look, they're not getting... Oh, no, they are giving me death penalty. I thought for a second they weren't giving me death penalty. I was going to say, wow, that would be another sneaky way of cancelling failure. Don't go out of the field. I can't cast with 8 confusion on me. Oh my god, he's just hammering me here. I'm going to No, that was a bad idea. Okay, we got the blast. Oh, and then maybe a comet blast as well. Oh, when he leaves, he invulns and fully resets. That let me break combat. Interesting. Clearly something they figured out in playtesting. It's okay, guys. Look, it's a good boss fight. It's good. Morgemoth strikes back. Morgemoth 2.0. There it is. We get the kill. Nice. Maybe I should have Dragon's Blood speared more. I'm sure I'll look in chat and I'll see if people are telling me to do that, because that's a lot of power damage, right? Well, 1,000. It's actually not that much. I guess they nerf it for this fight.
It's ready, champion.
Alright, mousing over her shield. Branded lightning shield. Fury of the brand. Variable gravity. Yeah, we're in the low grav. Okay, that doesn't really mean anything, though. The last boss is up here. We'll come back to this road in a second, I guess. It's kind of a shame that there's so much chaos on screen, because if there was a bit less, you'd kind of see how you're moving. Okay. Torment. Spam all the condies. Flame wall. Grinding stones. Oh, he's so dead. Look at his health ticking down. I can't even hit him and his health's just exploding right now. Oh, I dodged too early. Okay. Oh, yeah, he's dead already. That's it. One burn.
I'll protect you.
Okay. The spear doesn't do anything either to Mortimer.
I'm not you.
But you are of me. And soon
I just realised I've been on the combat log for a good bit of this fight, so we've been missing the dialogue, which is annoying because I kind of rely on that in the videos to...
She thought it terrified you.
nothing terrifies an elder.
Listen to that like sweet like tone on that. Nothing terrifies an elder dragon. It's like he literally sounds like a granddad talking to his kid. Alright, Aurene is dead. Come on. You can really see how, you know, I think they made her speak just for this scene. Because you can't have Kaith interpreting through something like this. Right? It just doesn't work. So you have Aurene learn to speak. Oh look, when we can actually do Condi damage, it dies instantly. 37 burns, baby. Maybe I should have taken a little bit longer on that to show off some actual mechanics. Yeah, they definitely are solidifying that idea. I think they should have had Morgemoth. Oh no, they can't have. I was going to say have Morgemoth be the last facet they destroy, and as soon as he gets destroyed, he can't speak anymore. How cool would that have been? But I think the payoff they went with is actually much better than that. So. Maybe the whole fight could have been reconfigured to tie a Morgemoth death with the mother comment and stuff. But.
She is the first of her kind. Have laid me bare. The pain is ebbing.
Oh, please, no one subscribe at the moment because you're going to put Guild Wars 1 ding sound effects in the video. And I'm not going to be able to edit them out or cut around them. So you're literally just making the YouTube video bad because I won't be able to put the voice acting in. But thank you, Canada Turtle. That's very nice of you.
Never have to kill what you love. Now, mortal, return my blood to my heart.
do it.
All right. One last look at the environment. And what a place they built. Okay. So it became hostile when I walked near it. Took a while to do so. This looks just like the orb, doesn't it? It just looks just like the gold orb. Please no crash. Please no crash.
My grandfather's prophecy is fulfilled. My mother's legacy is complete.
The gold orb, the auric orb in the forest.
What's about to happen, champion?
Yeah, in awe, yeah. So the egg from the Living World Season 2 cutscene, the kid from Season 3, the adolescent from Season 4. We're in Terria as well, by the way. I wanted to point that out on the original stream. You noticed that? That we're in the egg chamber? Yeah, I guess they are drawing that visual comparison between the egg and the heart.
All of you.
I love the way Case comes forward in the foreground of this shot here. And they're definitely doing a thing there. The stars. Look at that one star glow into the... She moves around like the Bifrost. This cutscene is styled very reminiscent of the end of the personal story cutscene. Or scenes, I should say. There were multiple that did this. Why does she explode at the end? I think it's just to sort of show that she's transcending reality, right? Like she's moving to another plane. She's not this corporeal thing anymore. I don't think she's... to call her an elder dragon is a bit weird. I think it's a misnomer. Like, the idea is, like, she's this new thing. I just don't buy how we got to her becoming a totally new thing, honestly. But we'll talk more about that, I guess, later. So we start off sitting down. You get this really cool animation. Your movement is actually locked, so you're forced to do the full stand-up. This is beautiful. They should have been doing this from the start. That's so nice. So you get the Crystal Bloom. One thing I have not recorded here is the Crystal Bloom stuff and a lot of the map dialogue, which I guess we will interject, like, without showing. We'll talk about, but not show. So in the finale, you've got, you know, one of these awakened monuments like we were dealing with on the Sun's Refuge patch. Okay, guys, the sub-train can continue now. It's all right. We get chairs we can sit in. You get the book I'll very quickly talk about. From Snargle Goldclaw. Is this the only lore book in the patch? It's the only one I remember seeing. Cheers, Jericho. I'll see you tomorrow, man. Oh, on Saturday. Okay, all right. Well, good luck on your exam. We move out.
Commander, we'll reach Lion's Arch by sundown.
Thanks.
It's good to see Saida in this
really
patch, because she felt very...
They're waiting for you.
Sort of extra in this season, I guess.
We saved the world again.
What will it all look like now that Kralkatorik's gone?
Less purple, I guess. Fewer.
You!
What did I?
You flew down a dragon's throat and punched his heart.
The timing on that dialogue's really good there. It's like he's actually interrupting us. It's really good. And the way they all turn and everything.
Next time, I promise.
Since we're drinking, how about a toast, Commander?
After everything that's happened, I don't know what to say.
Oh, I do. To Aurene.
To Aurene, the hero of Elona.
She's all grown up.
And up and up and up.
Not easy, is it? Watching your little one go.
We'll see her again, Keith. I'm sure of it.
This is such a humble little epilogue. I wonder whether it's because they don't want this to be a big moment of relaxation because of the nature of the start of the next season, or what? Right, so Timey's moving and we don't get to talk to her yet. Oh, we're hearing the Aurene music in the background. You know, I never detected that previously. That's a good theory there, Elmdale, that she's the first of her kind in that she's an amalgam of lots of magics and they don't hurt her. I actually really like that. I think you've given me the best explanation. That I really enjoy that one, actually. The theme's called The Prophecy.
You're not really sure, though, are you? That Aurene is coming back?
She's an elder dragon now. All bets are off.
I felt her compassion in there. As if she saw someone she loved in great pain. Was Kralkatorrik?
No dragon is meant to contain that much power. Balthazar, Zaitan, Mordremoth, their magics were tearing him apart.
I remember, like a bad dream, when Mordremoth... No matter. I can still feel her love, even from here.
You know what they should have done with this sequence as well? Some of these other ships
back to the grove
should have been moving slightly different. Well, obviously everything's stationary, right? They should have been moving really slowly. Some slightly slower than us, some slightly faster than us, to give the impression that the whole fleet is actually moving. And yeah, I know that eventually they'd end up totally off screen or out of the map or whatever, and that would look a bit weird and you'd have to despawn them. But put the effort in to just do a couple flying by a little bit every now and then for, you know, maybe 10 minutes, 20 minutes worth of gameplay, and that would have been enough. And that would have been really nice. Right now, the only thing that gives us a sense we're moving is the clouds underneath, but there's not enough points of reference. I know, in truth, if they're moving at the exact same velocity as us, it would all be, it would look like this. But, you know, we're not in orbit, and we're not all, you know, robots working together, you know, to be at the exact same speed. I would want it to look a bit like, you know, when you're on a train and you look out the window and you see other trains sort of going along with you, and obviously your viewport's a lot more limited. Well, I don't know why I'm talking about this. Saphira.
What's next for you? Now that...
It's simple. I serve. Wherever Aurene wants me to go, I go. I'll wait with the Zaishan until
they should just get Glint's voice actor to do it. to do Aurene's voice now that she's grown up.
Commander.
Or have her sound like a little girl again, you know.
Hi, everybody.
I'm your favorite Aurene, and I'm gonna save the day.
I'm just glad I can make it all.
And then she does battle with Steve and gets her head ripped off.
And with a lot of help.
Creative storytelling.
Thanks for giving me the chance, Commander.
Yeah, thanks for giving this bozo the... Kidding.
Be sure to check the Reddit story mega thread, as Tom Abernathy posted some interesting comments there, like saying that's interesting to a person's comment about how Aurene will handle all the magics inside her. Interesting.
Never thought about it. Never made plans for if the world didn't end.
Me neither. Guess we'll have to find out.
Look, I'm not allowed to do voices for the game, guys. I know I'm just so talented, alright? I know it's a shame.
Elona has suffered
Guild Wars
turmoil
can never be perfect because I'm not in it.
Then the Crystal
you know,
Dragon.
voicing Aurene.
Our political system
unfortunately,
is in shambles. We need statesmen.
I need like credentials. I mean, I don't know what that shit is all about. Apparently you need to. Wait, it's like the Screen Actors Guild or something, isn't it? You've got to be a part of to do voices.
take her place in the world.
Yeah, Zaim.
What kind of world do we live in where
Find
people have
those
to
people.
prove their capabilities before being offered opportunities? I didn't sign up for this meritocratic bullcrap.
Been one hell of a day, Commander.
My daddy was a voice
Been one
actor,
hell of a
and so
life.
I should be a voice actor.
You must be proud of how
Nepotism
Rox fought
all the
today.
way.
Yeah, I am. Timmy's gonna be okay, right, Commander?
What's this? No, we all know from
There's
streams
no
that
way
ArenaNet is
she's
one
gonna-
person. Oh, yeah. Okay.
I mean,
I thought it was
she
a serious
can't.
comment, Cottage, but no.
No one knows the future, Bram. For today,
If
Just
they added a
today.
potato mini
Let's
and
not
I was
worry about
voicing that,
tomorrow.
I would just like make like noises,
too.
you know, like just weird sound effects. All right, Bram, grow your hair back. And then what they
Grow
can
my
sell
hair
on the
back.
gem store, is a Bram wig that allows bald characters to have his fancy new hair. Actually, what am I talking about? They just update the character customization.
This is
It's interesting that
huge.
Cider, just from the
I have
placement of the
revised my
NPCs,
entire
Cider
thesis.
is going to be
No,
the last
it'll
one
be
that people speak
a
to.
monograph.
Like, I
No,
went on the original
it'll be
stream,
a
I said, oh, who do you guys want to speak to
6-volume
first?
treatise. Yeah.
One of the people in channel
The
said, oh, we should
Elder
just do it in
Brethren
order. And I was like, in
Reconsidered.
order? What are you
My
talking about?
magnum
Like, there's a
opus.
correct way
I
of
mean,
doing it.
how
I
many
never
researchers
voiced that
get
out
this
loud. There's no
kind of
correct way.
opportunity?
There's
Huh?
people closest, but you don't have to
We'll
think
have to rethink a
constantly
lot
in
of our
terms of
assumptions
efficiency of movement. Christ, you're in the
dragons,
story. Speak to
about
who
everything.
your impulse speaks
I
as you go to.
understand Gorik's
But a lot of
doing
people
the
do
field
think
work.
like that. They think, oh, I just have to speak to the closest.
The
That's what
sky
I've done
scales
here.
alone are worth, like,
And
a
that means
dozen
that
papers.
Saida,
They are so
I guess
much
if
cooler than
ArenaNet are
us
attentive
anyway.
to that, they would move people around a bit. But Saida is the last one we
You
speak
think
to.
Aurene still has time for me? I have got to get an interview with her. It'll be the first chapter.
when you see her again, ask.
Oh yeah, Timey is drunk. I missed that detail. Yeah, Timey has the drunk effect on her when we select her. Nice. Timey, I challenge you to a game of Belcher's Bluff. That's not
Hey there,
Belcher's Bluff,
buddy.
that's my Basenji. You can tell how long I spent with this. I did that one video and I was like, yeah, maybe I'll catch up with this again later. I'm sorry, Basenji. You're one of the friends I made along the year. One day. I do have the Belcher's Bluff novelty. I guess it's just not hotkeyed on this character.
In all my years of sailing and plundering, I've never seen anything like this. You do keep life exciting, Commander. And profitable.
Glad you're getting something out of this. You've been a great help.
Yeah, do me a favor and keep that to yourself.
I really don't like this bit.
Corsair's
Keep it
got
to
a
yourself.
reputation to protect.
Can't they leave some edge on some of these characters? Don't make her like this Corsair with a good heart that she hides from people. Make her a Corsair! Come on! I guess in the next finale I'll be telling Saida I love her too, right? It's just... Ugh. It's too far in one direction. It's too far. Alright, Mahid. Did you have dialogue for me? I guess not. Do you think they'll have Aurene return in the next season or expansion? I don't know. I don't know. Maybe in some ways. I mean, because they're at a real risk of redoing the Cormyr thing now. That's the thing. It's the Cormyr situation. How do you avoid... Because, like, you could have Jormag versus Primordus and do some cool stuff. You could have Steve being allied. You could do all kinds of things. And then you've got, like, Aurene. Like, you could have just a dragon brawl. Season 5 is a low-budget dragon brawl. Well, everything else is resolved all at once. You want me to jump? What? Oh, jump off the airship. Yeah, that just teleports you back on it, doesn't it? If I remember rightly. Yeah. It would be very cool if as soon as I came off of this, it started moving away from me, as if it was moving the whole time. And we were just like, you know what they should have done? They should have just have us go in circles. This is an interesting world map here as well. I like this detail. How many players are actually going to go into the world map? But look, it's like we're south of Ore. This is the southern shore of Ore that we're headed towards right now. Oh, we are. We're exactly there. That's cool, isn't it? This is so ugly, though. It doesn't look that bad because I haven't unfogged this bit, but this is the ugliest thing they have ever done with the game. This is so bad. This should be represented with like a misty kind of foggy effect. And it shouldn't be called Dragonfall. I know that's an epic sounding name, but it should be called like Mist Disturbance or something. I don't know. I know that sounds a bit generic, but this is grotesque. That is the worst map thing they've ever done. And they've had some horrendous ones before, like the obvious clipping between these two when Heart of Thorns came out and stuff. Grotesque. Okay. Alright, that's it. That's the end of the episode. Oh, we do get one final mail, don't we? And it's Goric, but I might not be able to show that. Rectangles fall out of the square all the time. No, I know that the story is, whoa, it's a crazy thing, so let's have a crazy thing on the map. But it's not working. The effect is not working, I'm telling you now. Alright. Okay, so I'll wave for the camera. And local recording is done. Sweet. So today on Guild Wars 2 Master, we made absolutely zero progress on anything. So let's try and make some progress on something. Anything. Should we get the next tier of making sense of Jahai? Because I only need to find 2 cents, okay? And we'll get just a little bit of progress on something, okay? Because these streams are actually meant to be about this, not me doing work for YouTube videos I should have done yesterday. I just bit my finger in a like cheeky kind of stupid way. Okay, so find all 40 coins throughout Jahai Bluffs. Let's find coin number 6, which is at the Codner Temple. So let's go back to Jahai. The Codner Temple is down south, right? So we're going to have a bit of a walk. I'll point of interest it. I do hope that people will check the dynamic event and ambient NPC dialogue in Dragonfall, as some of that stuff is really revealing, like Logan, Ritlock, Gwen dialogue, stuff about the Shadow Army, Kaith and Zaim. Yeah, well, what I'll do is I'll do like a gold. What I've been doing in the past is just one big story video where I talk about everything and I show everything, and it's literally like so fucking much work, and people like that, and then it's done. But I think I can be smarter about it. I can do less work and just do a Golden Path video, and then I can do a second video that is less work as well, but the two combined is more. And in that second video I can do Off the Beaten Path lore, and they'll be just as strong as one another, because it's not an aberration. This episode is not the only one where open world lore has been really important and really good. So yeah, I'll do it that way. How do I select maps like that? It's an add-on called Guild Wars 2 Radio. If you go to YouTube, type Wood and Potatoes Mount Wheel in YouTube search, you'll find this really cool YouTuber, honestly. I mean, I think he's pretty underrated, and he'll tell you all about it. Also, I guess I'll give some sincere credit to the dev of the tool, and there is a link in that video, to be clear. Okay, so it's on the wall. No, it's not on a wall. It's on a ledge on the south cliff side. On a ledge on the south cliff side. So we're looking at somewhere around here, I think. So let's see what we get. I really like this map. This is possible. Oh, we can do stuff now. What was your favorite map, guys, of the season? What is your favorite map? Dragonfall with all the mist realms and stuff. Now remember, you're gonna have an excited bias whenever people do polls and like, what was the best right after an episode comes out. The most recent one always has like a significant bump, so you try and rise above that. Try and be, you know, objective for a second. What was the best map of this season? Thunderhead, you think? Thunderhead was definitely the most immersive. I'll give you that. Making sense of Jahai, number 8. We can get on a plateau due southeast of the Yetendi village waypoint. So southeast, it's about here. Is Dragonfall the first living world map with only one word in its name? Bloodstone Fen, Ember Bay, Lake Doric, Draconis Mons, Siren's Landing, Bitterfrost Frontier. I know I did that slightly out of order. South Sun Cove, Dry Top, Silver Waste. Silver Waste is the first one. But it's been a long time. Season 3 is all 2, I guess. It's Domain of Corner, Domain of Istan, Jahai Bluffs, Thunderhead Keep. Yeah, it's been a long time since Silblaze. Obviously, people do kind of contract Istan into... a domain of Istan into Istan. Most of them are one word in your language. What language is that? What localization is that? Let's finish this achievement, since we're underway with it. Let's do something slightly more meaningful than picking up 2 coins, yeah? Okay, so we want number 10 next. Number 10 is at the Argonne Garrison. That's the wrong map. These 2 maps were so good. I think that Jahai Bluffs is my favorite. It's so beautiful. Jahai Bluffs is possibly the most beautiful place in all of Guild Wars. Had the amazing stuff with the mist convergence stuff. It connected to fucking Domain of Corner. Are you serious? It connect, and the art is so good. This map.
The pretty ships,
This map.
the snacks.
One hell of a job on this map. It's so good.
Oh, they're like dandelions, popping up everywhere.
You just learned about the Thunderhead weapons last patch? Yeah, I've got a million achievements to do on that because through PvP, I got all the currencies and everything done, but I don't have the, like, mini achievements finished, like, killed 30 people with a dagger, hit 10 people without being attacked on a longbow and stuff like that. So, yeah, I've got a lot of work to do. Oh, it's up there, I see it. I just saw it just for a very brief second there. There it is. Guess we could have gone into the Jackal portal. Like, if you actually look at the previous release, I think it's the most... oh, well, hold on, because I'm being attacked. Of course I'm being attacked. Ooh. Let's see here. Story journal. All or nothing. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. It's ridiculous. And then all the ones I've already done. It's crazy. And it's just chasing tails, chasing tails, chasing tails, chasing tails. What a patch. I think Thunderhead Keep was probably the best patch, but this was my favorite map. Yeah, so far. We're looking for coin 11 now. That's going to be on top of the tall branded spike northeast of the garrison command. So there's a tall branded spike here, apparently. Oh, wait. Garrison command. So it's on top of this. So it's not too far away. Maybe I can fly there. Actually, Roller Beetle's probably best. You should focus on the Sky Scale collection. I'm in no rush with the Sky Scale. We'll get it. Don't worry. I'm only capping the stream off with this. Okay, it's on top of that. We're in the brand, so it's going to be hell to get on a new mount. Let's try and get on. Oh, I guess we're protected by the spike above us. Why am I in combat? There's something very broken about the flow of gameplay in PvE now. There really is. That experience of being held in combat by a random mob you don't know where it is and only just appeared out of nowhere, and the world map stuff, there's something off about it. I don't know what the solution is, but I'll identify the problem, because that's the easy bit. Dragonfall is a cool map in how you fight Aurene, and Zephyra will randomly pop up to help you in a fight. 17, 18, 19, and 20 all together I need to do now. So we're going to go to the Battleground Ramparts at Almora's stand, which is all the way up here. We're going to go about there. Like, look at this. It's daytime as well. Like, this is some of the most gorgeous gameplay you're going to... Oh, it's storming because there's a disturbance. But when we move away from the disturbance... Apparently a lot of players were here, by the way, because you come here for the Sky Scale. You go back to the Sun's Refuge. Oh, is it just straight up raining everywhere? I guess it is. Never mind then. Oh, no, here we go. We leave that. Look at this. Look at this. Incredible. I mean, this bit not so much, but that cliff face. There's something about the colours there My lord. It beats the Burnisher Quarry. And hope falls. What do you get from this achievement? Don't know. A sense of progress. Achievement points. Happiness. A sense that everything is going to be okay. Do we go through this? Nope, but we get some chests. I'll take these. You'll like Day 2 Skyer Scale Collection, I bet, because it does a good job of not needing a guide. Really, that's awesome. I mean, the only reason... I'm only really using Wiki at the moment as a matter of expediency for the stream, because this is not meant to be my day. So, there we go. Grab this. Was that even the right one? 14. Oh, I missed 14, I guess. Crap. Well, hold on. There's lots in this area, so we'll just do them in this area. Let's do number 19. Number 19 is on a plateau near some vines. Head north from beneath the mastery point. So it's like, it's here. But are we high enough? That's the question. I think this is a Griffin moment. The sun is setting as soon as we get to the nice area, I think. Oh, missing that last flap was kind of frustrating. See, this situation here with the Springer, where there's like an overhang, I wonder whether this will be a place where the sky scale is really nice and like trumps the Springer and stuff. Because this is definitely really awkward. You got to find just the right place, and then you can get up. Could have used Bond of Faith there, but that's fine. I'll just go up one more. Mind you, it said on a plateau with some vines, and I see some vines. Ah, there's lots of vines. Hold on. It's just... You would like to see me struggle with the achievement? What, the sky scale? Okay. I really like the effect that these vines give as well. Oh, there it is. Wow, look at how direct my waypoint was there. Oh. Okay, that's 29 out of 30. Next we've got number 20. It's hopefully also nearby. It's at Venta Pass. It's actually, we'll go back to the waypoint for this one. It's off in this corner of the map. You just wait. Oh no, I've crashed. I've crashed out of Guild Wars. Damn it. Alright, well look. Since I've crashed out of Guild Wars. Oh, and OBS as well. Okay, I don't know if you guys can hear me. It says I'm still streaming, but it also says OBS has crashed. So, I'm going to assume that we're done. So, yeah. Let's see very briefly. You can hear me. Okay, everyone can hear me. Alright, well, it says, whoops, OBS has crashed. I don't know why. This is a weird crash. This is strange. I do feel like this is something with the overlays, maybe. A bit disappointing. I'll let Cho know. Damn, because there's nothing worse than trying to stream with the insecurity of not knowing whether crashes are gonna continue. But look, we'll leave it there, guys. We'll conclude that one. Tomorrow we'll do the meta. Okay, so we will check out the meta. We will take on Kralkatorrik. We'll send him into his crystal shell or whatever that whole thing is. Hopefully that's a lot of fun. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks very much for watching. This one's been extra long, and I will see you for the next one very soon. Take care, guys.